The emergency brakes hit the rails so hard my teeth clicked together. The elevator shook, then went still. The floor number froze on 13. The lights flickered once and then stayed on. The steel box turned into a small sealed room in the center of a glass tower. I did not panic. I counted. Vent fans still humming. Emergency light steady. Battery panel on. No alarm yet. I watched the numbers like I watch a balance sheet. If the fan kept running and the battery held, we had time. My boss stood beside me. Elena Sterling, Chief Executive Officer. The kind of woman people whispered about in hallways and watched on business shows at night. Today she wore a dark blazer with clean lines and a white shirt that made her skin look warmer. Her jaw was tight, but her hands were steady. When she turned her head toward me, the air carried her scent, sandalwood and rain. Clean and expensive. It always hit me before she did. "You're calm," she said. "I'm counting," I answered. "Counting what?" "If the fan stops or the battery dies, we have a problem. Until then, we wait." She checked her phone. One fading bar of signal. No internet. She lowered it and stepped a little closer. The elevator felt smaller with her that close. I was suddenly very aware of my own heartbeat. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "No cameras in here," she said. For a second, my mind went somewhere it should not go with my boss that near. Then she finished the sentence. "So you can tell me the truth without anyone turning it into a headline." Strategy, not flirtation. The heat in my chest cooled into focus. "What truth do you think I am hiding?" I asked. Her hazel eyes searched my face. "Which board member hired you to frame me?" she said. There it was, the hit. I had been on Elena's floor for a week as an outside auditor. I worked for Aurelius & Associates, a firm that gets called when boards are scared. Officially, I was there to review pension funds and risk controls. Unofficially, I knew the board wanted someone to blame if numbers did not look pretty. She thought that someone was her. "No one hired me to frame you," I said. "That is not an answer," she said quietly. "That is just careful." Quote, "It is the only clean answer," I replied. The elevator gave a slow groan as someone worked the system above us. Tools clinked on metal. Voices echoed faintly through the shaft. Elena's shoulders dropped a little, like she let out a breath she had been holding. "You have been auditing my life," she said. "My calendar, my travel, my receipts." "I audit narratives," I said. "Numbers tell stories, boards sell stories. When the two do not match, someone gets rewritten." "And I am the easy headline," she said. I did not argue. In my world, the person blamed is rarely the one who wins. A hard jolt shook the car. The doors slid open onto a cold hallway, the 12th floor, half empty at this hour. Elena did not walk out right away. She looked at me first, like she was measuring something she could not put on a chart. "If I am right," she said, "he will move tonight." "Then we move first," I said. She stepped into the hall. I followed. They gave me a glass audit room near the finance wing. A whiteboard, a table, a coffee machine that hissed but never tasted right. On the board, I had written the names that mattered. Warren Pike, board chair. Dana Klein, general counsel. Devin Reed, head of IT. And in dark red marker, underlined twice, the CFO, Marcus Harlow. I like the people who kept the building alive more than the ones on that list. Sarah, at the front desk. Mike in maintenance. 2 junior analysts who lived on bad coffee and fear. It is easy to say it is just numbers until those numbers are someone's paycheck, someone's retirement, someone's medicine. In the pension workbook, the top sheet looked perfect. It always does when something is wrong. Smooth lines, clean totals, no noise. That was my first warning. I drilled down, year by year, department by department. I saw a pattern start to form, money leaving the pension fund and stopping for a while in a holding pool called strategic expansion. On paper, that sounds fine. Grow now, pay later. In real life, it is what I call a dumpster label. Everything unwanted gets thrown under that name. I walked the building the way I walk a ledger. Quiet. Watching for the place the story changes. Sarah at the front desk smiled at everyone, but when she thought nobody was looking, her face dropped. "Busy week?" I asked. "People keep asking about the pension portal," she said softly. "The older guys, the ones who never complain, now they do." "Why?" I asked. "Because their retirement age jumped," she whispered. "They checked their projections. It got pushed back. They are scared, but they do not want to look weak." Her eyes flicked toward the elevators. "Elena does not know," she said. "Not yet." "She will," I told her. Sarah's shoulders relaxed a bit, like she handed me a weight she could not carry alone. "Just do not let them blame her," she said. "That is the plan," I answered. In the service corridor, I found Mike on a ladder, fighting with a flickering light panel by the elevator. "Third time this month," he muttered. "Faulty part?" I asked. "Cheap part," he said. "Maintenance budget got cut. Again, we use whatever we get." "Who cut it?" Quote. "Finance," he said, and his jaw tightened. "They always say the same thing. Ask Marcus." Quote. Back in the audit room, I matched Mike's supply orders with the payment history. The maintenance vendor got paid late, then suddenly got paid early. The timing lined up with transfers to that same strategic pool. Different line items. Same rhythm, same hand on the lever. I pulled a vendor history report. That was when I found the shell. A new company added 7 months ago. Cute, bland name. Paid in neat amounts. Always just under the dollar level that triggers automatic review. The address was a mailbox store. The phone number went to a dead line. The only, quote, employee on the form had a social security number that did not match the state. Fraud likes to look boring. I built a side sheet. Dates. Amounts. Who signed off? One set of initials kept showing up, sometimes on the line, sometimes just in the routing. M.H. My phone buzzed. A message from Elena. "Come to my office. No assistance." When I reached her floor, Sarah gave me a look through the glass like she wanted to follow. She did not. I stepped into Elena's office. Marcus was already there, leaning on the edge of her desk, laughing with Dana like he owned the space. "Elena," I said, keeping my voice flat, "there is movement in the pension accounts." "Pensions are boring," Marcus said with a fake yawn. "Not to the people living on them," Elena said. Her tone was polite, but there was a sharp line under it. I set my tablet on her desk and turned it so she could see. Red blocks where pension funds should be. Gray arrows where they had gone. The shell company. The timing. Elena went very still. Marcus leaned over my shoulder. "Incomplete," he said. "You have patterns. Patterns are not proof. Mistakes happen." "Patterns are not clerical," I said. "They are choices." Elena looked at me. "What do you need?" she asked. "Raw ledgers," I said. "Full exports, IT access logs, vendor contracts, board minutes for every time you approved strategic expansion." Dana frowned. "That is sensitive." "That is the point," I said. Marcus gave a slow, sad smile like he was talking to a kid. "Elena, this is how reputations die," he said. "Someone whispers embezzlement, and a quarter later you are on the front page. Even if it is not true, it is still a stain. Scandal! Exit ramp! Easy story!" Elena did not blink. "Do it, Marcus," she said. "Give him what he needs." His smile stayed. His eyes did not. As he walked out, he brushed past me and said under his breath, "You have no idea what you stepped into." He was right. I knew it was bad. I did not know yet how deep it ran. That night, Devin from IT sent me a set of reports. Sanitized. Clean. Too clean. The totals matched what the board wanted. The detail did not match what I had already seen. I did not accuse him by email. Emails live forever and become weapons. I forwarded the files to Elena with one line. Filtered. "I need raw." She called me 5 minutes later. "He is blocking you," she said. "He thinks he can keep this inside his funnel." "Devin did not remove data on his own," I said. "Marcus told him to." Silence. I could hear her thinking. Next quarter's pension renewal will show the gap, I said. Marcus needs you gone before anyone asks where the money went. A slow breath came through the line. So what do we do now? She asked. I looked at the map on my screen, at all the arrows pointing away from the people who earned that money. We make him show his hand, I said. Devon did not give me the real files by email. I knew that from the first look. The export he sent was too neat. No gaps, no noise, no rough edges. Real data is messy. This was a story someone had cleaned for him, so I went to see him in person. Devon's office smelled like old coffee and warm plastic. Pizza boxes were stacked by the trash can. 2 monitors glowed on his desk. His hands never stopped moving. Mouse, keyboard, mouse, like stopping would get him in trouble. Hey, he said, without looking at me. Busy day. Your export is filtered, I said. I need the raw ledger. He clicked his mouse again. You got what finance approved. You mean what Marcus approved, I said. His jaw moved. He still didn't look at me. Devon, I said quietly, if money is being pulled from pensions, you will be the name on the system logs, not Marcus. When this blows up, they will say IT failed. They will not say CFO stole. They never blame the king. They blame the gatekeeper. That finally made him pause. His fingers stilled. He turned his chair just enough to meet my eyes. What do you want? He asked. I want the unfiltered export, I said, and I want the truth about who told you to sanitize the first one. Devon swallowed. His Adam's apple jumped in his throat. Then he slid open a drawer, took out a small USB drive, and pushed it across the desk like it was dangerous. This is the real one, he said. If anyone asks, I never gave it to you. I put the drive in my pocket. Good, I said. Then we are both still breathing. On my way back to the audit room, my phone buzzed. It was Elena. Marcus has been pushing me to sign a resignation letter, she said without greeting. Her voice was low and tired. For market confidence, he says. Step aside now. Protect the share price. Quote, he wants you gone before the next pension renewal, I said. When people see the missing money, he needs someone else sitting in your chair. She was quiet for a long second. You think this all leads back to him, she said. I think the patterns do, I said. I do not care about his title. I care about the path the money took. What do we do now? She asked again. We make him move faster than he planned, I said, and we make sure he trips in front of the right people. The next morning, I asked Devon for the access logs. This time, I copied Dana, the general counsel, on the email. 10 minutes later, a partial log appeared in my inbox. Enough to be useful, not enough to be complete. Even in that small slice, I saw what I needed. A badge ID hitting the pension server after hours. Not mine, not Elena's. The CFO's executive badge. He had tied his access to a generic service account, but the logs still caught the source. I printed the page and took it to Elena. He is not just signing off, I said. He is going in himself. She looked at the paper, then at me. Then we bring this to the board? We will, I said, but he is going to try to move first. At 10:17, my badge turned red. I found out when I tried to enter the secure archive and the reader beeped. Access denied, the guard said, checking his screen. He looked sorry. It was suspended by CFO Harlow. Call legal, I said calmly. Tell Dana that Marcus just blocked an active pension audit. The guard made the call. 5 minutes later, Marcus walked down the hall with a coffee cup and a big smile. Embarrassing, he said. An outside contractor getting locked out of his own room. What is embarrassing, I said, is blocking pension review right before renewal. He stepped closer. His smile thinned. Walk away, he said softly. Send your invoice, move on to your next job. If you stay, you will be tied to Elena when she falls. I let silence sit between us for a beat. She is going down, he added. And you will go with her. Dana's heels clicked on the floor behind him. She stopped at my shoulder. Restore his access, she told Marcus. He put on a wounded face. I was just being careful. Restore it, she repeated. He tapped his badge on the panel. My card turned green again. His eyes promised payback. That afternoon, Elena met me outside the elevators. "Lunch meeting," she said. "Boardroom, you're coming." "Am I a guest or a weapon?" I asked. She gave a quick, sharp smile. "Both." The boardroom was warm and too bright. The table was long and shiny. It felt like a place designed to make regular people feel small. Warren, the board chair, smiled like a man who never faced a real problem. "We're here to discuss leadership continuity," he said, "in light of recent market concerns." Marcus sat relaxed, pen tapping, already ready with his story. Elena sat straight, hands flat on the table. I sat near the end with my tablet. Warren started with numbers, share price, analyst notes, market tension. Then he turned to Elena. "There have been questions about spending," he said gently. "Travel, events, pensions, optics matter." "You know what else matters?" I asked, still polite. "Pension totals that do not add up. I'm requesting the full pension ledger export and the minutes for every meeting where strategic expansion funds were approved." Marcus's head snapped toward Warren. "He doesn't need that." Elena looked at him. "If you vote me out," she said, "you will need someone to explain where the pension money went. He's the only one willing to show you." The room went quiet. Warren cleared his throat. "We will take this under advisement." Meeting words, stall words. When we walked out, Marcus moved in close behind me. "You're not her savior," he said. "You're her liability." I didn't turn around. "Then stop creating liabilities," I said, and kept walking. Snow came early and heavy that week. By 9 at night, most of the building was dark. The city outside the windows was soft and white. Elena was still in her office. I found her later in the small executive kitchen, staring at an empty counter like it had offended her. The vending machine hummed. The good coffee pods were gone. "You didn't eat," I said. "I will," she said, later. I knew that tone. Later meant never. I ordered pad thai from the Thai place on Jackson. Extra lime, no peanuts. I had seen the note on her file the first day, peanut allergy. When the food arrived, she looked at the bag like it did not belong in this part of the building. "No peanuts?" she asked, lifting the lid. "You told HR," I said. "They told the system. I read." We ate standing at the counter, shoulder to shoulder, looking out at the snow-streaked glass. The heater clicked in a steady rhythm. "You can go," she said after a while, eyes still on the window. "You don't have to babysit my crisis." "I won't," I said. She looked at me then. "Why?" "Because if Marcus moves tonight, you should not be alone when it happens," I said. "That's not about work, that's about physics. One person against a wall breaks faster." She studied me like she was measuring the weight of that answer. "Make the coffee machine work," she said. "If you can do that, I'll believe you can fix anything." The machine was temperamental. I double-filtered, ran a test shot, wiped the sensor, and added a tiny pinch of salt to cut the bitter. The smell was warm and dark. Elena closed her eyes for a second when she breathed it in. "How do you know that?" she asked. "I've lived in places where bad coffee is all you get," I said. "You learn tricks." When she reached for the mug, her fingers brushed mine. It was not an accident. Not long enough to be open, not short enough to be nothing. A question that neither of us voiced. Later, a cabinet hinge shrieked when she pulled it open for files. She flinched like the sound sliced through her nerves. I grabbed a small screwdriver from my bag, knelt, tightened the screws, and set the hinge so the door closed with a soft, easy click. "Small repairs keep a place from feeling hostile," I said. Back in the audit room, I built a map on the table. Every diverted dollar, every sign-off, every time stamp. I did not stare at numbers like math. I treated them like shields. Each line I locked down was one less angle Marcus could twist toward her. Elena stood across from me, arms folded. "Can you stop them?" she asked. I did not answer with promises. I set the packet of trace pages on the table between us. Evidence. Armor. "This is where the money went," I said. "This is who approved it. This is the path back." She stepped closer and set her hand on my wrist. Her grip was firm, steady, not weak. "You're risking your license," she said. "I know," I said. I turned my wrist under her hand so our palms faced. I did not squeeze. I just stayed. Morning came too early. My inbox pinged with a subject line that made my stomach go tight. Security incident. Data breach. External contractor. My name was in the first line. By the time I reached Elena's office, Marcus was already there, a video file open on her screen. Night vision footage from her own office. A clip of me draping my jacket over her shoulders while she slept at her desk. Harmless, in real life. Deadly, if someone wanted a scandal. Marcus hit play. "Here is your real problem," he said. Marcus hit play again like he enjoyed it. On the screen, in green night vision, I walked into Elena's dark office. She was asleep in her chair, head tipped back, papers on her lap. I took off my jacket and laid it over her shoulders. Then I turned off the lamp and walked out. That was it. No kiss, no touch, just a tired woman and a jacket. Marcus paused the video on that frame. "Unauthorized access," he said. "At night, in the CEO's office. A contractor getting far too close." His tone was smooth. "Imagine what the board will think. Imagine what the press will do with this." Elena stared at the screen, then at him. "How did you get this footage?" she asked. Her voice was soft and cold. He smiled. "Security upgrade," he said. "We cannot be too careful." "You did not tell me you put a camera in my office," she said. He shrugged. "You signed the general security policy." "Not for my private office," she said. "You recorded me without my consent." "And him," Marcus added, pointing at me, "your so-called independent auditor." He leaned back, pleased with himself. "Here is what happens now," he said. "You sign the resignation letter. You step down for the good of the company. We say you are taking time away for personal reasons. Your little pension story dies quietly. Or we call an emergency board meeting and show them this." He tapped the screen again. "We say the CEO and the outside auditor are involved," he went on. "We say you used him to hide your spending. And no one will care about boring pension math. They will care about this." He snapped his fingers. Scandal instead of truth, noise instead of numbers. It was a smart move, dirty but smart. I kept my voice level. "Where is that video stored, Marcus?" He rolled his eyes. "On secure servers," he said, "that you do not have access to." Elena did not look away from him. "You bugged my office," she said. "That is a crime." "Only if someone complains to the right people," he replied, "and the board will not. They do not want a public fight. They want stability." Then he turned to me. "And you," he said, "you are done. Your name is on the security report about that night. You broke policy. You crossed lines. You are no longer neutral. I can end your contract today." I felt my jaw tighten, but I did not give him a show. "You recorded yourself," I said. "You do realize that." Marcus laughed. "What does that mean?" "It means if this goes to the police," I said, "they will see you had secret cameras and audio in the CEO's office. They will ask why. They will pull every file from your private server, every clip, every call, every time you stepped on the pension system. You are not safe, Marcus. You are only hidden, for now." For the first time, I saw a flicker in his eyes. Elena saw it too. "Get out," she told him. He spread his hands. "Think about my offer," he said lightly. "You have until Monday. After that, I cannot stop the board from doing what they need to do." He left. The door shut. The office felt smaller, but the air felt clearer. Elena pressed her fingers to her temples for a second, then dropped her hands and looked at me. "You keep saying server, like it matters," she said. "It does," I said. That video was not on the normal network. If it was, Devin would have seen it in the logs. Marcus has his own box. A private one, locked in finance. "How do you know?" she asked. "I have seen his kind before," I said. "They keep their worst files close, somewhere they can reach and wipe if they panic." She took a slow breath. "Can you get into it?" she asked. "Not magic, just skill." "Not alone," I said. "I need two things. Someone who can tell me his habits. And a reason for you to be in that hallway that is not a crime." Her mouth twitched. "Habits," she repeated. "He uses his daughter's birthday for everything. He once joked in a meeting that it is the only date he remembers." "Bad password," I said. "And reason?" she asked. "You take a walk," I said. You inspect your own finance floor. CEOs are allowed to walk through their own building." She stared at me for a moment, then nodded once. "Tonight," she said, "before he moves." We waited until most people left. Snow pressed against the windows. The building was quiet. We took the service elevator up to finance. Cameras there pointed at the doors, not at the walls. People who belong do not look guilty. That was the rule. Marcus's office was neat to the point of fake. Family photo on the desk, pens lined up, a small server rack in the corner, humming softly. The monitor was black. I woke it with a tap. A password box popped up. "His daughter's name is Emma," Elena said. "Birthday is in his HR file, March 12. I typed Emma, then added the date in numbers, then a capital letter and an exclamation mark. I had watched his fingers once in a board meeting, half listening while he joked about it. People are lazy with their secrets. The screen paused, then opened. Elena let out a breath. "Door," I said. "If anyone comes, you leave." "I am not leaving you," she said. "This is not romance," I said. "This is evidence. You are the CEO. You are the face of this. If the door opens and he finds us both here, he will make this about us, not about pensions. If it is only me, I am the one who broke in, I will take that hit." She hated that. I could see it. But she also understood it. Strategy, not pride. "Fine," she said. "I will step out if someone comes, but I come back with Dana." "Deal," I said. I moved fast. No time to enjoy the win. The server tree had folders with plain names. Reports. Backup. Audio. Monday. I clicked Monday. Inside were 3 files. A typed resignation letter with Elena's name already filled in. A draft of a money transfer to an offshore account. And an audio file named Narrative. "Of course," I muttered. He named the lie. I plugged in my own encrypted drive and started copying. Halfway through, the hallway outside went too quiet. No printer hum. No distant voices. Just silence. Elena lifted her head. A keycard beeped once. Someone tried the door handle. I turned the monitor brightness down and rested my hands on the desk like I belonged there. Heart thudding, but face calm. The door opened a crack. "Elena?" A low voice whispered. "Julian?" It was Devin. He slipped inside and shut the door most of the way behind him. His face was pale, eyes wide. "Marcus saw a login alert," he said. "He knows someone is in here. He thinks it is a glitch, but he is coming to check." Elena stepped out from behind the door. "Then why are you here, Devin?" she asked. He swallowed hard. "Because I am done cleaning up his mess," he said. "I am not going to jail to protect him." The copy finished. I pulled the drive free and slipped it into my pocket. "You are our witness now," I said. "If he tries to erase logs, you tell Dana." Devin nodded too fast. "He already asked me to clear some things," he said. I told him the system was busy. "Good," I said. "Keep it busy." He backed out of the office and pulled the door to just short of closed. A second later, heavier footsteps hit the hall. Marcus's voice snapped. "Open the door," he barked. "Now." Elena's hand found my wrist and squeezed. This time there was no question in it. Just a clear signal. Ready. I opened the side door to the interior stairwell. "Go," I said. "We go," she corrected. We slipped out the back just as Marcus's keycard beeped again at his front door. In the stairwell, the air was cooler. Elena leaned against the wall for 1 second. Eyes shut. Then she straightened. "We have him," she said. "We have proof," I said. "Now we need a stage big enough that he can't shut it down." Her eyes opened. They were sharp again. "Town hall," she said. "Employees, press, board, all in one room." I nodded. "If we are going to blow this open," I said, "we do it where they can all see what he did to their money." "And what he tried to do to us," she added. Her hand was still on my wrist. She did not let go until we stepped back into the light. The town hall looked like a concert for people in suits. Rows of chairs, lights hanging from the ceiling, a big screen behind the stage. Employees filled the front rows first. People from shipping and maintenance sat next to analysts and managers. In the back were the reporters. The board sat in a neat line near the front. Warren looked tense for the first time since I met him. Marcus looked relaxed, like he had already won. He thought this was his show. Elena stepped up to the mic. She wore a dark suit and no jewelry. Simple. Direct. The room quieted fast. "We owe you the truth," she said, "about pensions, about how your money has been handled, about an attempt to use rumor to hide a crime." Marcus gave a small smile like he was patient with her. He thought she was going to melt down in front of everyone. I walked out and stood beside her. Some people in the crowd whispered when they saw me. The outside auditor. The man from the elevator. The man in the video Marcus had tried to use. I kept my voice steady. "My name is Julian Carter," I said. "I was hired to review risk and pensions. I am going to show you what I found." I plugged in the drive and opened the folder from Marcus's server. On the screen behind us, the first file name appeared. Narrative. Murmurs moved through the crowd. I opened it. The spreadsheet showed talking points. Lines about CEO personal issues and external contractor with unusual access. It was a plan. A script to turn a theft story into a scandal story. Then I opened the draft resignation letter with Elena's name on it. Dated for the coming Monday. She was supposed to be gone by now. Then the draft transfer to an offshore account. Big numbers. Money from the strategic pool. Money that flowed out of pension funds. The room went so quiet I could hear the hum of the projector. I clicked the audio file. Marcus's own voice filled the hall. Calm, confident. "We bury the pension story under a personal scandal and vote her out Monday," he said on the recording. "No one will dig through ledgers if they can gossip instead." People sucked in breaths. Chairs creaked as people leaned forward. Mike from maintenance stood up halfway without seeming to notice. Sarah covered her mouth with her hand. Marcus jumped to his feet. "This is edited," he shouted. "This is a trick." "He hacked my system. He is lying." Dana walked to the edge of the stage, her face like stone. "It is not edited," she said. "We have the hash values and the server logs. And placing cameras and audio in the CEO's office without consent is a crime." More noise rolled through the room. "This is a conspiracy," Marcus said. "Everyone loves a story when markets wobble. You are all being played." "This is not a conspiracy," Elena said. "It is a ledger." She nodded at me. I brought up the trace map. Line by line, date by date, we showed where the pension money had moved. From the fund, to the strategic pool, to shell vendors, to the draft offshore account. "This is your retirement," I said, looking at the employees. "Your parents, your spouses. This is why your pension portal shows later ages and lower balances." Someone in the back swore under his breath. Another voice called out, "My projection changed last month." Warren reached for his mic. "We should take a recess and discuss this privately," he said. Dana shook her head. "No," she said. "Recess is when evidence disappears. This stays in the room." Marcus pointed at me. "He broke into my office," he shouted. "He hacked my private server. He committed a felony." I did not flinch. "I accessed your server without permission," I said. "That is true. If you charge me, the case goes to court. The court will order full discovery. Every file, every camera, every policy failure. The board's security choices, the pension gap, the offshore transfer draft. All of it becomes public record." Some of the board members shifted in their seats. They knew what that meant. No safe corner. No quiet fix. Elena stepped closer to the mic. "I am not pressing charges against Julian," she said. "He protected this company's people when my own CFO was stealing from them." "You cannot decide that," Marcus snapped. "I can," she said. "Because I am still CEO." Warren looked sick. Dana leaned over and spoke to him in a low voice. He nodded once, slow. Security guards walked down the aisle. For the first time, Marcus looked nervous. "You will regret this," he told Elena as they took his arms. "I regret trusting you," she said. His eyes cut to me as they led him out. "This is not over," he hissed. It is, I said quietly. The federal agents came for Marcus soon after. The SEC likes cases with clear numbers and clear records. He had given them both. The board did not call the police on me. They did something colder and more normal. They cut my contract. Dana told me the truth later. They are trading silence for silence, she said. They do not want to talk in court about cameras and pensions. So they will not push charges against you. In return, they expect you not to light them up in the press. They also want me gone, I said. Yes, she said. Your present contract terminated for cause. Access removed. They did and walked to the lobby. It was strange how normal it looked. Plants, glass, security desk. Like nothing had happened. Elena was waiting near the doors. They offered you up, she said. They tried, I said. You did not let them. I refused to press charges, she said. And I told Warren that if he touched you, I would send the full pension trace and the Monday folder to every reporter in that town hall. I studied her face. She looked tired, but not broken. Her eyes were steady. You threatened your own board, I said. They needed to remember who runs the company, she said. Then, softer. I am sorry, Julian. I nodded once. I was not sure what I was forgiving yet, but I understood. I cannot keep you on payroll, she said. Conflict, optics, you know that. They would choke. I know, I said. I care more about reality than optics, she added. Reality is that you protected my people. She stepped closer. For a second, her hand lifted like she wanted to touch my arm, then she dropped it again. The cameras in the lobby were very visible. No cameras in here, she said quietly, almost a joke, but way too many out there. I smiled. Small. Then this part can wait, I said. 3 months later, it did not have to wait. I signed a lease on a small office above a bakery that smelled like sugar and heat. The space had clean windows and a door that did not stick. My name went on the state forms. There was a blank line under it where a partner's name could go. The bell on the door jingled. Elena walked in wearing dark jeans and a black blazer. Her hair was down. Her face looked different in daylight without boardroom shadows. Softer. Stronger. I do not do charity, I said. I do not take it, she answered. She set a folder on my new desk. The logo on the top sheet said Sterling Vance Advisory. It is an investment, she said. We open a firm together, clean audits, real pension protection, clients who want truth, not theater. You are still CEO, I said. I am stepping back, she said. Not because they won, because I am done spending my life fighting people who do not care about Mike's face when he thought he could not retire. I looked down at the papers. 2 names on the partnership line. Hers and mine. Downstairs, the bakery bell rang again. Someone laughed. The smell of fresh bread curled up the stairwell. Pad Thai, I said. Extra lime, no peanuts. Her mouth curved. You pay attention, she said. I made coffee in the small machine in the corner. Double filter, pinch of salt. Same trick, new place. When I handed her the mug, she did not take it right away. She stepped closer and lifted her hand to my jaw, her thumb resting just under my cheekbone. It was a question. I held still. I let her see whatever was in my eyes. She gave one small nod. I leaned in and kissed her, not as a shield, not to prove anything to anyone, just her and me in a room with no cameras and no lies, the hum of the city outside and the smell of coffee between us. When we separated, she let out a slow breath like she had been holding it for months. No secrets, she said. No narratives, I replied. Only spreadsheets, she said, and her laugh was quiet and real. Our first client came the next day. A small manufacturing company with a pension plan in trouble, and a CFO who looked like he had not slept in a week. We listened. We asked for ledgers. We checked every line. Elena stood by the window, watching the street and the client at the same time, guarding the room without waving a title around. After he left, she turned to me. Do you still see stories in the numbers? She asked. I looked at the files on the desk. Then at her. "I see shields," I said, "for people who earned more than lies." She nodded. "Then build them," she said. That night, the bakery downstairs closed early. The street was quiet. We stayed late, going over the first engagement letter. She read every word. She had learned what careless signatures cost. When she signed, she held the page steady with one hand and wrote her name with the other. No flourish, just a clear, strong line. "No one steals from our people again," she said. "Not while we are counting," I answered. Outside, the city lights blinked. Inside, the small plaque by our door caught the glow from the hall. Sterling Vance Advisory. 2 names side by side. For the first time in a long time, the future felt like something I had built on purpose. Not a box someone trapped me in. Not a story someone else wrote. This time, the doors were open. And we were the ones holding the keys.